Hi, welcome to Polycrests in Homeopathy. My name is Giovanna Franklin, and if this is your first video about Polycrests, this is a video about Polycrest's remedy in homeopathy. So what's a Polycrest? A Polycrest is a remedy that has been used for a long time, and that means that we know an awful lot about this remedy, and we can apply and prescribe this remedy for a very wide range of symptoms compared to other remedies. How many Polycrest remedies are there in homeopathy? Well, that's up for debate. And by the way, let me know what you think. Depending on what homeopath you ask, you will get numbers between 28, 30, and 50, 60. So in this series, I am going to talk about the remedies that we know for sure that they are Polycrest. There is no debate about it. So today I'm going to talk about Sepia officinalis. Sepia is a remedy made from squid, from the ink of cuttlefish or squid. Now, I don't have a squid to show you handy or a picture, but I'm sure that you have seen squids before. You know roughly what they look like, what they are. Well, first of all, we can say that Sepia is an animal remedy. It belongs to the animal kingdom because squid is an animal, it's a fish. And it's part of the sea remedies. And by the way, if you want to know more about sea remedies, I have an online course and an ebook that goes with it, and you can see the link below. Anyway, back to sepia. So sepia is an old remedy, partly because in Hahnemann's time, ink that was used to write, handwrite, was made from ink from the squid, and so it was a readily available substance. So it's one of the first substances that Hahnemann experimented on and tried to make a remedy out of. Now, as always, let's think about the squid, the source, before going into the remedy, because as you know, there is a little bit of theory of signatures going on, but also the nature of the substance of the source will be reflected in what the remedy does. So squid is fish, okay, so it's classified as a mollusk, but it's not completely boneless. It does have one single bone. If you ever cooked a squid, you probably know that when you chop up a squid, you will encounter this one single bone towards the mouth of the squid, and that's the bone that allows the mollusk, the animal, the creature, whatever you want to call it, to get hold of the prey and eat it. So squids are predators. They are not mollusks, as in the bivalves like calcarb, like murex, like shellfish, for example, which are indeed completely invertebrate. There is no bones at all. They're completely vulnerable. And of course, they're not predators. In fact, they're more often prey than not. Whereas squids are predators. They eat other fish to survive. So we have this picture of this soft on the outside creature, but then surprisingly tough on the inside, and also pretty aggressive, because of course in order to be a predator in nature you have to have a certain amount of aggressive behavior. Another typical behavior of squid is that it's a very fast moving creature, because again, whether you are predator or prey, one of the things that can work to your advantage is speed. So squid moves very rapidly. It has those tentacles that function, that work as almost like propellers, and so it can move pretty fast, in and out, zigzagging, etc. So, okay, so far we have predator, soft on the outside, tough on the inside, fast, and aggressive. Then if we look at the outer appearance of the squid, there's different types, of course, the different colors. Most of the time you find that squid's skin on the outside is kind of mottled. It's not one uniform color. It has some kind of spots. And this we understand when we use squid sepia as a remedy for skin conditions, like, for example, vitiligo, or those skin conditions, not so much eczema too, but particularly for those skin conditions where you have discoloration, patches of discolored skin, particularly on the face or around the eyes. And I have used the sepia very successfully for these kinds of conditions, particularly in children. Now, sepia is very well known as a female remedy. It's called the female remedy, which is fine because it does have, it seems to have an affinity with female organs, reproductive organs. It's a great remedy for PMS, for pain during menstrual cycle, when the cycle is very heavy, for example. There is also back pain, not just cramps, not just abdominal cramps, and there is a heaviness. There is this heaviness in the abdomen that kind of feels like it's dragging you down. So it has an affinity with that, also with uterus. It's a great remedy when treating uterine prolapse. Again, I have used that successfully in such cases, especially if you catch it at the beginning, because there is this sensation of heaviness, and it feels like almost your abdomen, your insides are going to fall down, so much so that in the Materia Medica it is described, the patient is described as crossing the legs almost to stop the insides from falling down. It's a great remedy for thyroid imbalance. Therefore, it's a good remedy that I use in cases of menopause. However, I have used this remedy in children cases of both sexes. So it is not just exclusively a remedy for for women. Let's talk about the emotional, mental picture of this remedy. So we have described squid as aggressive, fast, needs to go really, really quick, soft on the inside, tough, soft on the outside and tough on the inside, this bone. And so from the emotional, mental point of view, sepia is, the sepia individual is a very busy individual, and in fact feels better for work. And the picture that we get, the stereotypical picture that we get from Rajan Sankaran, for example, is that of the businesswoman, the career woman, who has almost forgotten or left behind her femininity in favor of pursuing a career, almost like a man. This is a very 1980s, I find, picture. And I do find that the descriptions that you get of for homeopathic remedies very much reflect the time in which they were written. And so if you go back to the 19th century, there is a lot of talk of hysteria in women. And again, this is not a term that I love. Hysteria comes from hyster, which is the Greek word for uterus, and it implies basically that women think with their uterus, and they are influenced in everything they do and they think and they feel by the state of their reproductive organs, basically, which is not a theory I completely subscribe to. But what I would say is that yes, sepia individuals, women, like to be busy, and there is nothing wrong with that. And particularly, they're very, very happy for movement. And this is also found in children. Now, sepia is a tubercular remedy. It belongs to the tubercular miasm. And I'll probably do a separate series of videos about miasms. But if you know anything or a little bit about miasms, you will probably know that tubercular miasm is about movement and speed. So you see that particularly in children, children on the autistic spectrum or children with ADHD, they move a lot, they move very fast, they love things like riding in the car with the car window down, they love the wind, to feel the wind on their faces. So the sepia individual love fast movement, and particularly the strange, rare, and peculiar sepia likes dancing, fast dancing. So this is the healthy sepia state. Okay, so when things go wrong is when sepia does a little bit too much. So you overdo things, which we all do at some point, and particularly if you're a mother and you're working, so you have to do and to be more than one things, many things at the same time. Famously, again, it's a stereotype. Women are supposed to be good at multitasking compared to men, but it's a fact of life that, that we do, whether we're good at it or not. Many of us, men and women, are asked, because the way our society works, we're asked to multitask. So we do a lot of things and we can burn out. We can reach a stage where we basically burn out. We get tired, and the tired, overworked sepia, how does she react? Well, she gets nippy and grumpy and sarky and snappy, which is, if you picture a squid in the sea, the way that the squid catches the prey, it goes, and think about, like my fingers are the tentacles, it's literally like this. Okay, and so in and out, catch it and go. And this is the way that the sepia will tend to speak, like snap back, and particularly at family members, at loved ones. Why? Probably because they are the first ones, the ones who are around and who are available. And so the sepia will snap at whoever is in the vicinity, and typically the first people available will be family members. So husband, spouse, children. And particularly around children, the sepia will be really irritated by even the presence of children, whether they are annoying or not, or noisy or not. They can be perfect angels, but they're still annoying. And this is really a signal most of the time that that it's time to take a break, time out. This is my cue. Usually I do need sepia from time to time. And my wake-up call is when I realize that I cannot stand the sight of my family members or my kids or my husband. Everything gets to me. Everything is irritating. I just want to snap back. And if I do, sometimes I will say things that I regret afterwards. That's my cue to start taking sepia, take a break, go for a walk, go out with a friend, just pause and do something for myself, because typically it means that I have been overworking, I have been working too much on my practice, for example, and at the same time working at home and, family things. We're all human, we need a break. Sepia helps you understand this and go with the flow and slow down. So Sepia is a great remedy for that. Other uses of sepia, again, in the menopausal symptoms, one of the symptoms that you can have in menopause or perimenopause is mental fog. That kind of memory issues where you can't think of the right words, the words don't come out easily, you forget things easily, the short-term memory is impaired, you can't think straight. And again, sometimes it's hard to distinguish between what is perimenopause and what is perhaps tiredness, stress, what's been going on, which is why in these situations it's always good to work with a homeopath to because the homeopath will ask the right questions, hopefully, and help you understand when this started, when this symptom started, and what's really going on. Is it really your hormonal imbalance because you are changing, your life is changing, your body is changing, or is there also something else going on, something related from whatever is your environment, your stress, work related, family related, etc. So yes, there is this kind of dullness of thinking that can come in. So this is sepia in a nutshell. I hope this has helped you, and perhaps this has sparked your interest in homeopathic remedies in general. Again, if you want to know more about C remedy, look at the link below, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.